Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today we have Tony Barletta on the line, and he's co-owner and managing partner over at the Nouveau Group, Inc. And I'm happy to announce that Tony's a sponsor at the Microcap Conference, and we're gonna be meeting coming up pretty soon, Tony. So hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Looking forward to meeting you as well. Thank you for having me.
Man, I'm pumped about this conference. We'll get into the conference and so much more. I want to learn more about Nouveau Group, of course, but let's see, just to get us started, we'll start this episode as we start them all with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So, Tony, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Tony, what mission matters to you?
My mission is to succeed in business and grow our company to further compete in the market against our competitors and against current market trends affecting us all today. We want to make our name for ourselves, and we want to show everyone that Nouveau can compete and get the job done. That's our mission matter.
Awesome. Great having other entrepreneurs on the line to share, why they do what they do. And at this show, we keep it straight, we keep it real. So great to have you on here. And I guess first thing first, what attracted you to the Microcap Conference? This will be my first year attending, and I'm like, man, I'm excited to go meet all these, CEOs, other entrepreneurs, and have some fun. What attracted you to the conference?
So we're a sponsor. So we've basically been working with the Deal Flow, who's sponsoring the event or who's hosting the event. We've been working with them for several years now, and we sponsor a few of their other conferences, such as the SPAC conference. And so this is the first time they're having this, and we jumped aboard. We also like meeting people and bringing people on and hopefully working with them moving forward. It's going to be a great event, and I'm looking forward to being there.
Yeah. So talk to me about Nouveau. Like, give me a little bit more about what you do.
Nouveau is a small private company based out of New York. We provide financial printing, EDGAR SEC filing services, and investor communications for leading global financial institutions. We're 24/7. We're a service provider, and we have clients throughout the U.S. And basically, we've been in business since 2012, and we work with a lot of banks, financial institutions. We do print, fulfillment. We provide data room services, IR services, and any form of communications they need us to, do on their behalf.
Now, obviously, for context for everybody listening to this, we're recording this in January 2024. Man, 2024, how we get here, Tony?
Oh, my goodness. Thank God we're here, right?
Yes, sir. I agree with that. And obviously, coming on the other end of COVID and all the other things going on, like that was just, I feel like that was just a tricky time for all small businesses, yeah?
It was horrible. It was a horrible time, and we're still navigating that. So hopefully we survive it.
Yeah, small cap. So obviously we're going to the conference. Small cap is the theme there. Like the industry's taking a little bit of hit. How does that affect their communications and what those CEOs and owners should be thinking about, or those CEOs and shareholders should be thinking about going forward into this next year?
Now that we're getting out of COVID, everyone's happy to be shaking hands again, and versus the Zoom era. And so it's back to business. It's back to pushing out information. That really never changed. And, we were there during the difficult times to be able to help our clients move that information forward. We were pretty prepared, for those pitfalls, and we were able to navigate those hard times. And so we're still there, and we're still providing the same services as before and then some. And so the CEOs look to us to help them do that, and we'll continue to do that, whether it's print, whether it's investor relations services, whether it's through SEC, we're there working with them side by side.
Man, I was speaking of people are out shaking hands. I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to it. It's so I'm at church on Sunday, and the part where peace be with you, and you're shaking hands, and everybody now still does the wave, and it just throws me off for a minute. Maybe growing up in the church, I'm like, I'm so used to but I understand. I hope that one day we get back to, shaking hands again in the church. But I know at at the microcap conference, we'll be definitely shaking hands there.
You'll definitely be shaking hands. You might even get a few hugs in there.
Exactly. Oh man. So I mean, let's talk about just entrepreneurship here. As an entrepreneur, like what keeps you, going when the times get rocky, and get rough? Like what keeps you motivated and getting out of bed and getting it done?
Survival. It comes down to survival. It comes down to making sure that I'm going to be here tomorrow. And as an entrepreneur, I'm not just thinking of myself and my family, but I'm also thinking of, my staff and their families. Yeah. If I don't come through on the other side, I'm basically, personally letting everyone down. I've been on that side where people are let go and companies go out of business, and it's terrible. Mm-hmm. It's not a good thing to see. And, but I basically, we keep our heads on our shoulders. We move forward. We work hard. Basically, we're a company where we stay lean and tight. We don't have a big overhead. We don't overspend. We don't, we look to practice what we preach. We provide great service to our clients. We don't have a lot of things that our competitors have that basically is a waste. So that's how we're here today, and we hope to be here tomorrow.
Could you give, you don't have to be too specific, but when you say something that maybe is a waste or not necessary, and the reason I asked you this question, by the way, is that not because, it's highly unlikely there's another entrepreneur out there that's just in the exact space listening to this right this moment that they're like, oh, that's an industry trade secret. That's not going to happen. But why I do ask you this question of what you consider a waste or like extra that you don't kind of need in your line of business, the reason I asked you that question is because there's other entrepreneurs that'll be listening to this that, maybe it'll jog something in their memory or something that actually does where they're like, do I need to be doing this? Should I not be? Like, what do you consider one of those things where you're like, yeah, this is just kind of a waste. We don't need to do this just to function.
Well, when I say waste, I mean my waste is not someone else's waste, obviously.
Exactly.
And vice versa. So what someone else might think, I say, hey, we'll have to think outside of the box and see what works for us. And you go through trials and errors. I mean, if it works, great. If it doesn't, you remove it. And for us, it's a waste. And like what I would consider a waste would be having multiple departments. That's a waste because people, you tend to find people sitting around a lot waiting for the work to come through. Whereas if you can just condense it, 2 or 3 departments, people can multitask. They can learn other areas of the business. You also have to allow your employees to think outside the box, think for themselves, and that'll help you as a business succeed. You're not just, I've worked at many companies where you're just another person and you have to do what you're told and that's it. I'm not asking you for your opinion. I don't care what you think. This is it, and you just get it done. We don't operate that way. We all work together. Even I, as a CEO, I get my hands dirty. And so not many people do that today. A lot of people pretty much, I think, get very arrogant. And, I basically come from nothing and, I still work hard. I'm there every day. I'm in the trenches with my team. And, you have to know what's going on. And, that's how you become an effective CEO and survive as well.
Use that word team kind of often. What does that mean to you? Like, what is team and leadership? What does that mean to you?
So basically, they go hand in hand. We work as a team together. We can't get to the end product unless we all do it together. There are things that, I was on the customer service side when I started, and now I'm on the leadership side. But I still look to my team to be leaders in what they do to help me overall get the company, to move forward, to get out there to our clients and get the word out who we are. And, get more business in, and we all basically have to row in the same direction. So that's what team means to me.
Yeah, and do you buy into this whole, people don't want to work anymore concept and phrase and whatever? Like, do you buy into all that?
It's tough. It's a tough world now. It seems like the power shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, we did lose a few people. It was
You're
difficult.
human. I would be shocked if you didn't. Everybody did, I feel like. But go ahead.
It was different. Yeah,
We're
it was
all human,
difficult.
yeah.
It was hard, and it was like, it was almost like I had my heart broken, and it was like, what did I do? You're like in that kind of relationship, because when we bring staff on, we like to make it like a family thing, and we hope they would stay on forever. So when you lose somebody, it's never a good thing, unless obviously it's for, because things just didn't work out. But
yeah.
It's a power shift. Basically, you're navigating rough waters. It's kind of like a little bit of touch and go. We still operate remotely, and things are different. So you have to keep an open mind, and you have to discuss, how to keep a balance. Now we basically have staff all over the U.S., and so whereas before we were just based out in Europe, we had employees come into the office. Now we're basically, when COVID came into play, we hired staff throughout the U.S. I mean, while that's great, there are people out there that I haven't met personally.
Isn't that a trip? Isn't that a trip? Like, did you ever think like that's one thing COVID did, is it kind of sped that up? To me, that's still a trip.
Yeah, but it's scary because when we first started this, that's not how we envisioned the company going. We would do company outings, we would have meetings. And so, that really doesn't happen anymore, because obviously we can't have different outings in different countries, and we can't have people fly in for one day to do events. So, there are other ways that you have to try to figure out. Maybe, I don't know, send some of your staff to a game wherever they are, or figure out how to compensate them. Obviously, financially, that's always a plus. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and I think what's super interesting to me about this piece of, like, even the remote part of it is there's new possibility. Like before, and I'm not arguing for one way versus the other. Like, I think for every organization, though, their personal choices, right, for their business, and there's a lot of infinite variables. But one thing that I think is consistent is that there's possibility, right? Because it's possible that somebody in your local area may not be the best person for the gig. It might be somewhere in another area, right? Might be.
Correct. It's kind of like virtual dating. Before you would meet somebody in an interview, you liked them, that was great. Now, you're not so sure if who you're interviewing over the phone or on Zoom is the right candidate, because they're not physically in front of you, they're not performing in front of you. You can't just, whenever you need help or you need something, you can't just walk out of your office and say, "Hey, I need somebody to help me with this." Now it's a different ball game, and you kind of have to trust your instincts a little better and hope that things go well. I mean, if not, then you have to figure out, well, how am I going to correct the situation? How am I going to deal with, is this really the person that should be employed with us? So it's tough. It's tough.
Well, Tony, first off, it's been, great having you on the show today. That being said, if somebody wants to learn more about Nuvo, what's the best way for them to do that?
So they can go to our website. It's www.thenuvogroup.com. My information is there as well. They're more than happy to email me if they have any questions as well, to my personal, which is Tony, Tony.Barletta, Barletta, @thenuvogroup.com. We're also on Instagram as Nuvo Group, and we're on X, formerly known as Twitter, as Nuvo Group as well.
Fantastic. Well, again, great having you on the show. And to the audience, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hey, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. We have many more mission-based people like Tony coming up on the line. And if you're heading out to the Microcap Conference, see you there.
Looking forward to seeing you there.